All right, joining me now is the big guy, number 40 on the football field, Dakota Everett. Dakota, thanks for having me. And I'm also here with Coach Twig, or Twig Willer. Twig, am I saying?
Yeah.
Twig.
Twig's fine.
The coach for Pleasant Valley. This is exciting for me. This is the reason why I do this show, for you guys to come in and for Pleasant Valley to get their name out there. So first thing I want to say is congratulations on signing up there in Stony Brook. Now you're a big Seawolf. What made you decide to go up to Stony Brook? I know you're looking at some schools in Vermont and New Hampshire. Why'd you go right with Stony Brook?
I visited a couple schools, but when I got to Stony Brook, it's like something I've never seen before. I'm used to the weight rooms here, the facility, the coaching staff, and then going to Stony Brook, it's a notch up. You're stepping into a program where you know you're going to get better.
Division I?
Oh, yeah. It's scary knowing that you're finally there. Because, growing up, it's always you want to go to college and you want to get that scholarship somewhere and whatnot. It's weird thinking that it's here. It's your time's come, you're up, you're leaving the school.
It came fast, right?
Yeah, real fast.
Yeah. So, tell me about, did the coach come up there with you?
I've actually never been to Stony Brook, and when we started talking about schools, we cut down a short list of schools that Dakota was interested in. And Stony Brook, I really have had very little knowledge about where it is and what type of school it was. So when Dakota went up there for a visit, he came back and he was glossy-eyed. He said his visit went great, told me all about it, and just sounds like an outstanding place to not only play football, but to get his education. And I know that it'll make him a better a better man and a better football player for it.
Is it a rural area like here?
Not so much.
It's upstate New York.
Yeah, well, it's in Long Island. It's kind of like city-ish and run up, I guess you can say. But hey, I look at it. I'm not going to college to hunt. I'm not going to fish. I'm going to get an education and play football. Do what I love to do. And like I said, I feel a program like that can take me to where I want to go. Just playing football and having fun.
So you do have plans to continue playing football. College isn't the end of your dream.
Growing up, coming through the little leagues and Cubs and all that stuff, playing with the older kids, I was never really the star kid coming through the Cubs. I was never the kid that the parents always talked about and all that. I wasn't. I was an offensive line.
Really?
I was an offensive line all the way up to freshman year, I think. And, coming through Cubs, looking at the lights on Friday nights, to me, I told myself, I said, one day I'll get there. One day I'll play under those lights. And those came sooner than I thought, and that was, 3 years ago? Just about?
Yeah.
I ended up starting next to my older brother, actually.
Really?
And my older brother, Gabe. I started next to him, and that was a time of my life. Just growing up with him and playing football with all my brothers and stuff. And so...
Not many guys have that. Not many guys can do that.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm glad I had the opportunity to definitely play varsity with my brother. It was cool. But coming through, finally made it to high school ball, and just looking up from high school to college, it's thinking to myself, one day I'll get there. One day, just focus on that. And just played, and now I'm here.
Right.
And now that I'm in college,
that's fantastic.
If I can I'll play college ball, and if I am blessed with the opportunity to go further, I will be more than happy to.
Of course.
Go
Oh, yeah, absolutely. When did you notice him, Coach?
Well, I noticed him as soon as he walked in the door as a greenhorn. I can remember him as a freshman. It was my first year at Pleasant Valley. We bought some of the guys up for some drills and taking a look at some of them and not only their size and how they interact with the different guys. And Dakota, right off the bat, was a guy that you could see had some ability, but played a lot bigger than his frame. And
really, he's 6'3", 235.
Hey, you line up against him, you know what I'm talking about. But I noticed him right off the bat, and as a sophomore, he came in and he earned his spots. And one thing about Dakota is, he eats from the humble pie, and he earned everything he's got. And he worked extremely hard. His work ethic has gotten him into a position to do some great things, and the things that he did on the football field were a direct correlation to the way he's approached, the type of training, and the type of preparation it takes to play this game. And that's what separates him, and I could tell that from a very early standpoint as a freshman.
Now, you said you grew up. Did you grow up here your whole life? Are you a local?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yep.
Right down the road. My mother's from Bethlehem, and then my father's from Palmerton, and they met here and stayed here.
Oh, all right.
Raised in a house of 9. one bathroom. You got to learn one way or another.
No, I got a little guy that plays little ball, and now he looks up to you, a lot of you guys. When you were down in that system, who were you looking up to? I mean, was obviously your brother.
Yeah. I mean, coming up through, I can honestly say, I mean, coming through Cubs and stuff like that, I really didn't have a whole lot that I was really inspiring and looking up to until I hit freshman, sophomore year. And then, hey, you know him just as well I do, big man Kevin Engle.
Oh, yeah.
Once I met him, I mean, he did the same thing with my brother that he did with me. Took me under his wing, taught me everything he knew, and I excelled from there. I mean, it was really neat just seeing myself take off. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty neat.
Yeah, and so by the time you got into your sophomore year, was he starting his sophomore year?
Yeah,
or was he doing special teams? Or
well, no, he came in and won the
As a
outside
sophomore.
linebacker position in our defense.
that's outstanding for Mountain Valley Conference to come in as a sophomore. And,
Oh, yeah.
so as a kid, you said you played as a lineman.
Oh, yeah.
Where would you play? Where did you play on the line at?
Give me a position. That's pretty much.
Really?
That's right where I played. I played center 1 year, guard, tackle. I mean, I played a little bit of everything on the line. That's where I learned how to block, and I honestly think playing tight end, coming up through varsity, I mean, that's where I learned how to block. I mean, was through Cubs. I mean, I've been on the line so long, had my hand in the dirt, I know what it's like.
Yeah. So the moral is, if you're playing on the line,
Oh, yeah.
when you're little, it doesn't matter.
No.
You know, that's some of the little guys' bigger worry is that they're never going to get the ball.
Yeah.
You know, they're the center. They're never going to get the ball. They're the guard. But like you're saying, I mean, all this stuff leads up to, if you, as long as you stick with it, you're powering through there.
Yeah.
So that's tell me. I want to know the story behind the hammer. Why do you carry the
Hammer.
I've never seen that before. Playing here at Pleasant Valley, I've never seen the hammer before.
It's pretty cool. We started that about 3-4 years ago.
3 years, yep.
Yeah. And it goes to the player that had the hardest hit the game the week before.
Right.
And then you walk out on the field with the hammer. And I held it for majority of the season this year. So I got dethroned by my left tackle, but yeah.
We implemented the hammer 3 years ago. When we first started our program, we struggled extremely in tackling. I can remember our first game, first year head coach. I mean, we struggled tackling. We did a number of different things to try to implement that, and then we came to a reward system about, hey, you know, getting together, taking a look at the staff of the biggest knockdown hit, and whoever did that, you know, would be nominated, and you know, we'd go through a voting process, and they would carry and lead our team out in the field as kind of the guy you don't mess with. And
Right.
you know,
Oh, it was intimidating because I saw you during the playoff game over there. That's off the top of my head right now. Was it outside of Allentown? Outside of Allentown. Parkland. And I came walking up the hill. Me and another coach from another school came walking up the hill, and you came with the hammer. And then my old coach, Coach Garacho, was there. And he's like, look at this kid here. Look at this kid coming through there. So that was intimidating, man. And that's why I was like, man, look at this
Well,
kid.
number 40 had it a bunch of this, that's for sure.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's cool. I mean, walking out in the front, people get to see you. I mean, I was never the kid that starred and everything. I mean, like I said, coming up through Cubs, I was never really the kid that people talked about.
Right.
Once I hit varsity, it was like, where'd this kid come from?
Right, and I've been following Pleasant Valley, and I mean, I seen you out there. It was this year where I was like, man, this kid's got something. This kid, 6'3", and like Coach was saying, you do play bigger than what your size is, and you know that's work ethic. I think that's the biggest lesson that you're giving the younger guys right now is that work ethic. That you know, you weren't one of those guys that was talked about the whole entire time coming up. And by the time you got into high school, and it looks like you stayed modest to your roots.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always gonna remember growing up and just being who I am, where I came from. I mean, that's me. I'm not changing for nobody. I mean, I'm going up to Stony Brook, and like I said, it's not like around here. I mean, I hunt, I fish. Up there, you're not hunting, you're not fishing. But I'll definitely try to implement it up there as much as I can.
Right.
I mean, I'll get them.
Well, you're about an hour and a half away.
Yeah, they're not too far away.
You can come home and do your laundry still.
I'll get some camouflage up there, yeah.
Well, Under Armour makes it now, so you can. Yeah, you can fit in up there. Do you? What do you do on the weekends? Do you have a job or anything on the weekends, or this is it?
Yeah, I mean, weekends I work up at a skirmish. It's paintball.
Okay.
Love the job. I wouldn't trade it for anything. I mean, I can't bag groceries, one, I can't bag them. Two, I don't want to sit behind a register all day. And
You're an outdoor guy.
I love it. I mean, get to wander around, meet with people. I mean, I meet with people all over the eastern side. I met people from Florida. I met people from New York, New Jersey, the Californias, or the Carolinas, rather.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's cool just interacting with everybody, getting outside, and just being where I like to be.
That's all year round, right?
Oh, all year round. Close like 3 days or something like that around the year.
Yeah. That's a dream job for her. That's a dream job for a high school.
Yeah.
For a high school kid. That's awesome.
It's cool.
Yeah. So, what do you plan on doing? When you went up to Stony Brook, did coaches say keep hitting the weight room, or didn't say you could take it easy or anything? Or
Yeah, no, I mean they could definitely tell. I mean, when I went up with the recruits that I went up with, I don't want to like boast or be anything like that, but you could tell it was one of the more physically fit athletes up there. And one of the funniest things that we joked about all week was the head coach, Coach P, we call him. They made a joke about getting in a little like a skirmish up there, a little brawl between the coaches, just joking around. And he said, the linebacking coach said, "Oh, I'm taking Dakota on my side," and then the head coach was like, "Well, I want his dad." So I mean, it's neat. I mean, it's cool.
In terms of the lifting, it's this real small world. The head strength coach up there played with me when I played in college.
over at ESU.
We had a great connection. He was the defensive tackle. Miguel Rivera was an All-American, and I had a good connection there. And I had mentioned, hey, we call him Shaba. I said, Shaba, you got to see this kid. This kid's something else. And he went on his visit and didn't really hear much from him. And then he calls me back and says, Twig, we want this kid. He will be an animal in this weight room. And he designs the workouts and does everything else. And it'll be interesting to see what this young man looks like in a year to 2 years.
I don't see how his skin's going to be able to hold him in.
With the work ethic that he's got and the type of facilities and the things that they have, in their accessibility, it's just going to be unbelievable. And he's got to do what he's been doing and then push it a little further. But he's got the tools, and he's got the place to do it at for sure.
But you're definitely proud of him. I can see.
I'm just when we get to see our guys go, that's the pinnacle of coaching for me. Is like when this guy signed, his letter of intent. That's like it's like a proud father being able to see his guys. I mean, I've worked with this guy. I spend more time with these football guys than I do at home. And when you see them get to where they want to be and be able to achieve their goals, that's something special for me, and that's the reason why I coach him. Him being there, full scholarship. I mean, I can't wait to.
You're gonna miss him next year, though.
Well, you can't fill that.
No,
I mean, there's a big shoes to fill. I mean, what size shoe do you wear?
I'm about a 16 double E.
Yeah, you
16.
You can't fill that shoe. But what he has done here is he's left a legacy. And he's taken the bar and he's raised it. So now everybody that comes through will know this is where you got to be. This is the expectation, and for that you can't thank Dakota enough and guys like him, because they set the bar.
And the guy and the younger guys like on the freshman teams, they're looking up to him now. They got to see him in the weight room or. Hey.
They see that. They see what Dakota is. They see what he's done and how he does it, and that's what has to be done. You do what has to be done when it has to be done as well as it can be done. And he set that bar, and you can't thank somebody enough for doing that for your program.
Right. That's good stuff. Do you plan on playing in McDonald's?
I think we just recently talked about it. I think I might play in that.
He's definitely playing in the East-West game,
right?
The All-Star game, and then the McDonald's game. He's nominated for, but we're taking a look at if he plays in the East-West, can he play in McDonald's? So it's up in the air. If he wants to play both, he'll certainly have the opportunity to play both. But we'll take a look at one at a time.
Hey, I missed one game regular season, so I figured if I make one up,
you're gonna make it up.
That makes that one up. And then I got the other one for my actual All-Star game. So I mean,
right.
Is the Big East? Did that replace the Big 33?
No, the Big 33 is still going.
Okay.
The Big 33 is still going. They play Maryland. He was nominated for that game, but then,
the Pennsylvania-Ohio game.
Well, yeah. Now they play Maryland.
Okay, all right.
So now
he
plays in the East-West game. So
okay, all right. What's one thing you're gonna miss about Pleasant Valley?
Ooh, everything. In my head, I'm the biggest nice kid I know. I can honestly say it looks like I'm like a 2-year-old trapped in a 25-year-old's body. I like goofing and joking around. I mean, if it's up to me, I'd never leave high school. I really wouldn't. I mean, I love it here. I mean, everything aside, yeah, you hate coming to school, you hate getting up at 6, but I mean, you're gonna miss these mornings when you're like however old doing whatever. I mean, I'm definitely gonna miss the school itself. That the players, the kids I grew up with. I mean, I'm getting thrown into a whole new thing. I'm gonna be the little fish again. I mean, up at Stony Brook. I mean, here I grew up with all these kids and played football with all of them. We know everyone's dirty secrets. We know everyone's what they do like, what they don't like, what gets them going. You know what I mean? Up there, I mean, you're the new kid. I mean, you gotta start from scratch. I mean, so I mean, definitely growing up with everybody.
I mean, this area's absolutely exploded, you know, on its own.
Yeah.
You know, so where's one of your favorite hangouts that you're gonna miss? Right? Just hanging out with your buddies.
I mean,
after school, or
yeah. I mean, I live in the weight room after school, so I mean, it's not like I go anywhere and hang out with the cool kids in school. So I mean, definitely. I mean, the weight room is where I hang out. I mean, if not, I'm like any other kid. The video games. I mean, I hunt. I fish. Split wood 24/7 in the winter. So I mean.
So you're a country boy. You're a country boy. You're a Pleasant Valley kid. You're a Pleasant Valley.
He's Pleasant Valley.
If I think Pleasant Valley, when I moved away, I came back and when I moved down south, and somebody said, "Where are you from?" I said, "Pennsylvania," and they're like, "Oh, Philly, Pittsburgh." I'm like, "Nope, up in the mountains. We're just the mountain boys." And even at work, they call me the mountain boys. I work over in Jersey. And they're always like, "Oh, the mountain boy." They're surprised we even have cable up here.
Oh
so.
Boy. Every time I say Pennsylvania, everyone thinks Amish right away, and I don't know why. So I mean, it's definitely nice coming from a place like this. I'm glad where I was brought up and all that stuff. So
right, we are proud around here, you know. So I pulled you out of the weight room. I gotta know. I gotta ask. What are you putting up? What are you lifting? What are you benching?
Other day I bench 345 for one, and then squatted just around 550, somewhere around there.
He says it like he just lifted a Volkswagen.
Well, I mean,
yeah, you know, I did 250 the other day, you know. I mean,
it's
he acts like it's nothing. Like 340 pounds doesn't go up. It was just breathing, right?
Going into season, I was right around 235, floating around there, solid. And coming out, I mean, I was right around 225, 230. That was around mid-December. Since then, I hit the weight room hard. Right now, I'm 247. But I feel like I can improve so much more. I mean, the reason why I say 245 the way I do is because I don't like it. I mean, I personally believe I can get my weights better.
He's a worker, coach.
Well, there's no questioning that.
Yeah, really. He's a worker. I mean,
this guy, he put him in a weight room and he'll do it. That's his work ethic has never ever been an issue. That is for sure. And those guys at Stony Brook will figure that out pretty quickly.
Yeah, because I know. Some kids will hit a pinnacle, like when I was coming through, 300 pounds. Once we put up 300 pounds, it was like 300. We're now in 300. Now you put up 345, and you're still not happy about putting up.
No, I mean it's cool. Cause I mean, like especially when you do it with the younger kids watching you, they watch you put weight up like that, and they're in awe, and they want to strive to get to where you are. I mean,
right.
That's where I was. I mean, when I was younger, I watched my brother put up 315 a couple times. I'm like, well, I want to see where I can get. Now. I call him an old fart because now I can outlift him. So it's pretty neat. It's cool.
Yeah. I'm coming. You know, it's always you're gonna find this when you're coming back to it. I was walking down the hallways here and coming back to your old school. I walked in. I was like nervous. It was like my first day back in school again.
Yeah.
You know. So, but hey, Dakota, congratulations, man. I really do appreciate you having me. Thanks for being on. I appreciate it. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Anytime, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hopefully we can get back together again during the season or before the season.
We just really appreciate you coming down and doing things like this for Dakota.
This is why I do it.
This means everything for us. I mean, we get special guys to come through here, you know, and...
you make my job easier and fun, you know, and I thank Coach... the assistant athletic director,
Bowman.
Coach Bowman, he got me in here. We introduced each other, and so and now I see some of my old coaches back there, Coach P, and so he was one of my favorite ones coming up. But hey, thanks a lot, guys. I really do appreciate it. All right, thank you.
The Bear Den.